Hi everyone, welcome to Fat to Thin Seniors. I'm Raven. I'm 76 years old and I had gastric bypass surgery on December 16, 2019. Medicaid approved the surgery. Last week I talked about this past year's journey, my year and a day, that's more than a year, and my successful completion of various goals. And I also talked about why people are feeding me. In this vlog, I'll be talking about various non-scale victories, things that don't show up on the scale but you know are completely different from the way it was. If you're curious, please join me on this journey and continue to watch, and please comment. Last week I talked about this past year's journey and my successful completion of various goals, and I also talked about why people are feeding me, and it's because I asked them to. I didn't realize I did, but I did. This week I talked about some of the strange and surprising non-scale victories that I've seen. The pool here at the resort opened up this past Friday, but I went swimming on Sunday. I was invited, come on, let's go swimming, and so I said, sure, let's go, and I had no bathing suit. I knew I had 3 bathing suits in the house, and I thought, well, maybe, one of them will fit me or something. Well, as it turns out, I had one swimsuit bottom that more or less fit. It was a little loose, but it worked. So I put on a swim bra and then put the top over the top of that. Well, the top was ridiculously loose. It was probably a 3X and I'm a 1X or something like that. I don't know why the pants, well, I got a big butt. Anyway, I got in the water. I couldn't really float, which really surprised me because I've been very buoyant, I had to kind of figure out how to float, how to hold my body in the water, that kind of thing. I never thought about that, but I got in the water. That's a victory. That I got in a bathing suit. That's a victory. Let me tell you, non-scale victory. I went. My goal had been, until the corona thing happened, to go over to Goodwill or some such place and find a bathing suit, because I figured I'd keep growing out of them, so I haven't made it there yet. I'll get there probably this week. I didn't do laps because there were people in the pool, and they do laps between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise you gotta deal with everybody in the pool. And there were a lot of people in the pool, more people in the pool than I have ever seen in the pool before. And people must have been dying to get out and get in the water, Anyway, I didn't count laps, but I swam off and on for about an hour, and what I did was kind of spot where the lane opened up and I could swim that way, so I just kind of kept doing that kind of thing, But I came out of the water and I felt refreshed, and I wasn't tired. At least I wasn't tired until I got home and decided to sit down and realize that I needed to take a nap. At any rate, another non-scale victory. My skirts don't fit. Now, I like to wear jean skirts. If I'm not wearing a sari, then I wear a jean skirt or maxi dresses or something of the sort. I don't know why. I got to cover up my legs. Except when I go swimming, I don't seem to care, At any rate, I had a black jean skirt. It was really nice. I ended up taking some cord and tying the last 3 belt loops in the back together, kind of, sort of, in order to make the skirt fit me, but after a while, I guess my butt and my thighs got small enough so that if I did that, if I put the skirt on with the thing tied in the back, then I ended up tripping over the skirt front because it was too long. I just didn't have enough butt and that ass to keep it up, you know. So I went down to the next smallest size that I had. You know how it is, you collect clothes, right? And I've gotten to the point where I've tied 3 loops, belt loops in the back of that too. And I'm afraid that it's going to fall off of my hips. So I have to give that one up too. Well, that's my last jean skirt. So, what can I tell you? At least if I put it on, you know, and I'm willing to deal with the fear of it falling off my hips, at least I'm not tripping over it, you know. But I actually haven't put it on since the last time I wore it, which is about a week or so ago. The maxi dresses that I have, you know, I bought them mostly for wearing around the house and that kind of stuff. They're too big. They're too long. I keep tripping over the bottom. You know, it's just getting crazy. Now, I don't know that the chances of me finding maxi dresses at Goodwill are pretty slim. So, but I'm going to look anyway. So, the 2 maxi dresses that I have, I wear them in the house. I don't wear them outside. They got pills all over them, stains, you know. I'm not going to wear those outside. So I wear my saris. I had to tell you about my saris in a few minutes anyway. As far as my mind goes, the NSVs in my mind, I started wearing my saris to go walk Rowley. It doesn't matter what size you are if you wear a sari, because you can always wrap it smaller or put more tucks in it or change the wrap or something. I mean, it's generally 5.5 yards of fabric, or some of them are 9 yards. So if you wear a size 2, you got a lot of wrapping to do. If you wear a size 32, not so much, but you could still wear it and still look gorgeous, you know. So I got a bunch of these things. And there's a, let me tell you a story. Okay. When I was about 20, for some reason, I was very much into wearing saris, African wraps, Polynesian wraps, or just wraps in general. And they were always long and to the floor. Okay. I just had a thing about that. I don't know why. This is 56 years later and I'm still doing the same thing. So I must like them. Okay. So anyway, I was working for a bank at that time in New York City. And I think when I went for the interview, I was wearing a long skirt, just a regular skirt. And I turned up one day at work wearing a sari. Figured, hey, you know, it's clothing. I'm covered, you know. At some point in there, I got fired because I didn't fit the mold, you know. I don't fit the mold. And at that time in our society, women were not allowed to wear pants to work at all. So you had to wear a short skirt, according to the bank, in 6-degree weather, wearing stockings and high heels on the ice in New York City. That was the reality of life. Anyway, I showed up in a sari. It wasn't going over big. In fact, it didn't go over big at all. In fact, I got fired. Such is life. But as it turns out, I'm still wearing saris. I'll tell you how I started. I don't know how I started wearing saris, but this latest batch of sari wearing, I saw a sari online. It was absolutely gorgeous. I said, you know, I'm going to buy that. Just because, and I don't know where I'm going to wear it, how I'm going to wear it, whatever, I'm going to buy that. Well, as a result of buying that sari, and I think it's the only one maybe there are 2 or 3 more that I've actually paid full price for. Most of them, excluding this one, was about $10, $15, because in India, women can sell their 100% 5.5 yards of fabric for $10 or $15, and in most cases the shipping was free. So I have a lot of them. I went on a jag. I mean, I went on a buying binge and I went crazy. So I've got about 50 of them or more. I think 50, because I gave away a lot and that kind of stuff. Used a lot for household decorations and things like that. But 100% silk, 5 yards. Consider what you could do in your house with that, you know? It's amazing. Anyway, so I got a bunch of them. So I've been thinking about, do I go out and buy new clothes? Or do I just wear what I have, what I like to wear? So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so that is a mind non-scale victory for me, anyway. Wear what you want, you know. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. Everybody likes different music, different everything. Why the hell can't you wear what you want without somebody putting their nose out of joint, you know? It's just amazing. So another non-scale victory. I thought I was going to try and keep this video short, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I walked 3 miles this week. I walked on Tuesday. I walked 2.5 miles in the morning, and in the evening I did another half mile. I was surprised. I did it. I really wasn't in any pain. I do have leg pain, foot pain, knee pain, hip pain, back pain. When I first start out walking, I've started stretching and that kind of stuff, and it does help. But I believe that I need better shoes. So my next non-scale victory and overcoming my mind, because my mind doesn't like to spend money on me, you know. I mean, unless it's a toy, you know, if it's something that's inconsequential, yeah, I could spend some money on it. Something I need, something I really need and need the best of, no, my mind is not ready for that, okay? So anyway, about a week and a half ago, I started doing some searches for shoes for long distance walkers as opposed to runners, because the heel heights are different and when you land you push off different and that kind of thing. And I found a pair. Oh, I found a bunch of pairs, but I found one that I really liked. They're leather uppers and that kind of stuff. $118 with tax and shipping. It took me over a week, almost 2 weeks, to press that button to purchase. Now, I know that if I'm going to walk the Grand Canyon, or if I'm going to continue walking at all, whether I do Grand Canyon or not, I need better shoes. I've bought better shoes, not as good as these, on different occasions. I mean, I've had New Balance, I've had Asics. Right now I'm walking in Clark's walking sandals, and these are called Vionic walking shoes, made for people who, I guess, walk professionally. It's not just like nurses, doctors, you know, people who stand up all day long, people in Walmart and whatever who stand up all day long, but these are people who do racing and that kind of a thing. Race walking, because the gait of your foot is different. The support has to be different, that kind of stuff. Now, I've bought some really cheap Walmart shoes because you need some shoes, you know, when you buy the best you can with the money you got, you know. So right now, as I said, I'm using these sandals, the Clark's sandals, because they insulate my feet. I don't feel the pea stone as much under my feet as I do with regular shoes. I had the Asics, the last running shoe that I put on was an Asics, and they're a real good quality shoe and all, but now that my feet are skinnier, it presses down on the top of my foot. You know, I'm trying to hold my foot in the shoe, tighten it up a little bit better, and that kind of stuff. And it presses down on the top of my foot, and I believe that it cuts off the circulation because the top of my foot hurts big time after a while. So I had to give those up altogether. And I went to the walking sandals, which is what I'm using now. But I'm beginning to feel like the beginnings of maybe shin splints or little twinges in the heel, my left heel. I'm feeling weird things going on in both knees, and I really believe that that has to do with the shoe more than anything else. I used to have orthotics when I used to run, but those are different kind of orthotics, so even if I still had them, which God knows I might, they wouldn't be appropriate for just walking. Yeah. I don't know why I don't treat myself to the best of stuff that I need. I think we're probably all like that, you know. You'll spend all kinds of money for a friend, more than they wanted, you know, better than they wanted, but for yourself, why, you know, I think we need to look into that, you know. Now I have another non-scale victory. And this one is that I'm finding it very difficult to just sit. Now, I don't watch TV. Well, I don't even own a TV. I do watch YouTube. I don't even really watch Netflix or Hulu or anything. I watch YouTube. But lately I can't seem to stand it. I just jump up like a spring, you know, and I got to do something. And then I sit back down. And then I find myself jumping up again. Or I go to do something minor like wash the 2 dishes in the sink. You know, the dish and the glass and the spoon in the sink, right? Next thing I know, I'm vacuuming all the floors. You know, I went out this morning. We have a concrete pad in the front of where the doorway is for each of the plots here in the park. I went out this morning, took out the hose, washed down the whole concrete pad, took the dustpan and took the extra water and kind of pushed it off. And then I waited until it dried, got out there with the broom and started sweeping the concrete pad. Okay, so I'm getting jumpy. I think this is a good thing. Or at least the house gets cleaner. The dishes get washed. The counter is not so bad anymore, you know. I find myself, another non-scale victory, I find myself walking and just smiling. I'm looking at the birds, I'm looking at the buildings, I'm looking at the grass, trees, sky looks wonderful. I'm looking at the grass and thinking about the insects and the animals that live there, and it's just, anyway. And I seem to be just grateful all the time, just happy, I feel so good. And the last one for this week is that I can reach around and scratch my back. I can't put my fingers together. I can just about, you know, like that. But I can scratch my back. You know, it's kind of cool. So, on the method of trying to keep this a little bit shorter, I've done a self-sabotaging checkup this week, and so far I can't say that I found myself sabotaging me in any way at all this past week. I haven't gone out and bought stuff. I haven't done anything. I haven't gone to any kind of restaurants. I've eaten correctly. I weighed everything, and so I'm still losing inches. But it seems like it's wrong, you know. I should be craving something according to the way my mind works. The Rowley Report. I went out. You know, when we got the Trump USA's sweepstakes money, I went out and like, you know, like I said, I can spend money on junk, but spend some money on something I really need is just ridiculous. Anyway, so I went out and I bought some real poi. These are, oops, these balls are probably about 3 or 4 times heavier than the hacky sack I had been using. In fact, this is probably about the weight of my hacky sack. And so dealing with the poi is a lot different because of the weight and the length of the cord and all that. Anyway, so I got my poi from the home of poi. Cool place. Oh, you can't read, that's backwards. It says home of poi. And it comes from New Zealand. So it came in a package, and Rowley saw me open this ball, and he wanted this ball. He wanted these balls. These are his balls. Any balls that come into this house are his balls. Anything that comes in a box is his toy. Okay? So I got he managed to steal it twice. Twice he managed to steal balls, and he was trying to get it out of the bag, you know, that kind of stuff. So I put it away. I put it out of his reach, but I put it up on the counter because I was going to go out a little bit later and try and see if I could do some of these tricks that I've been looking at on videos, right? And he was really upset. He kept trying to figure out how he's going to get up on that counter. He went and sat up on the couch that's across from the counter so that he could get up high enough to see it up on top of the counter. And he was just like pissed off at me all day. So anyway, later on in the evening, his toy basket is right here at the edge of my table. And he brought me every one of his balls, every one of his stuffed toys, everything. And he gave it to me, you know, like handed it to me. I took it out of his mouth. He took it out of my hand, actually literally took it out of my hand and put it on the floor at my feet, went and got the next toy and did exactly the same thing. Okay? Until I don't know, the floor was covered with toys. Anyway, so he gives me his toy. And then he goes over to the counter and he starts, you know, climbing, how their dogs do. They put their feet up against the counter. Like he wanted that ball. He was going to give me all of his toys if I give him my poi balls. I said, no, I'm not giving you my poi. Not at all. You know. He was upset. He started barking at me. It was just, and then after a while, after I told him, no, I'm not giving you my poi. No, you're not having this. He went and he laid down on his little bed underneath the table here. And he stayed there. He did not eat dinner. He didn't move. He wouldn't go anywhere. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't bring me his balls so that I could throw them for him. Nothing. He was pissed off. And I wasn't sharing. And that's that. And I'm still not sharing. Okay? So, as it was, he gave me a long talk about how to properly share. Okay. So anyway, to sum up, he didn't want to play with me anymore that night. So to sum up, I'm feeling good. I have absolutely no regrets, continue to have no regrets about the surgery. I talked to my doctor this morning on the phone. I had a phone consultation with him. He said since the first visit with him, I think it was November 6th or something like that, I've lost 49 pounds. I said, okay, cool, I'll go for that. I'm about halfway there. So that he also said that just as long as I'm losing, it doesn't matter how much I'm losing, just as long as the inches are coming off, just as long as it keeps going down, not to worry about it. And at this point, since I'm just about halfway out of a year, things slow down. But I am losing. And in fact, I'm losing inches and pounds because I got no more clothes to wear unless I wear my saris, you know. So I'm feeling strong, clear-headed most of the time, and pretty happy, okay? So please like and share and subscribe and ring the notification bell. And don't forget to click show more to see the links in the description below. Okay? Take care of you and yourself, and blessed be.